August 12th, 2018. That's the day I went to Rice University. Not knowing much at all about what college was going to be like. In fact, I wanted it that way. I wanted to come in blind and just see what would happen. But while I'll admit that I had a damn good time in college, made a lot of great friends, accomplished so much more than I had expected, there was one big goal that I had in mind that I couldn't accomplish, and unfortunately will never accomplish. Well, if you haven't guessed already, then that goal was to graduate college with a perfect GPA. Now, I know that's a goal that a lot of people strive for, but nonetheless, I took that goal very seriously. And for me, it was a goal that I considered doable, something that I just needed to do one homework, one test, one exam at a time. But to talk about why I had this goal in the first place and why I was so devastated when I couldn't achieve it, we have to go all the way back to when I was in elementary school. I'm not exactly sure how or why I took school so seriously. It could have been from the way my parents raised me, since they did play a huge role in my upbringing and definitely pushed me to do well in school. I also did a lot of competitive activities when I was younger too, stuff like soccer, piano competitions, band in middle school. I remember loving competition, and I never wanted to do anything halfway. So maybe that played a role in it as well. Whatever it was, when I first heard about the grading system, which I believe was in first grade, I was told that an A was the highest you could get, and getting that meant you were quote-unquote smart. And so that became a goal for me, to get an A in every class and to be smart. So fast forward a couple of years, and I have yet to get a grade below an A. I presented to the board of directors, was given Student of the Year award every single semester. I strive to get that A and strive to get that perfect GPA. Eventually, this goal became natural to the point where I kind of expected myself to get A's. I never took it granted, of course. I know I always had to keep working in order to get that mark, but I didn't really have to remind myself to do that anymore. It was kind of a habit that I built over time. You know, I just tried my best on every assignment, every test, and still got A's. High school was kind of the same thing, and I continued to push myself in my classes. Fortunately, I was surrounded by friends who were all very dedicated to doing well in school, which meant that getting good grades just kind of became a friendly competition. There was definitely toxicity in my school, I'll admit, and there was cheating going on. But again, most of my friends never showed that, and I never really felt that academic pressure that others were feeling. 4 years fly by, and I had an amazing time in high school. And then it came time for college, another step in my academic career, another 4 years to make friends, relationships, memories, and of course, getting that perfect GPA. At least, that's what I thought. Academically, I did the same routine I did in high school. You know, I went to classes, I tried to learn, I studied, and took my learning one step at a time. But classes were harder than I expected, and you know, I might have taken my classes less seriously than I should have. So eventually, that came back to bite me. Flash forward to the end of the first semester. It was winter break, and I was with some of my friends when grades finally came out. I kind of knew it was coming, especially after finals, but there was that small glimmer of hope in me that felt like maybe, just maybe, the curve can bump me up to that A, and maybe I could be saved. Well, it didn't. And for the first time in my life, I didn't get an A. No, I didn't fail. I didn't even get a C, actually. I am a little bit embarrassed to even say this out loud, because when I think back on it, I just feel so ridiculous that I made such a big deal of it. Of course, I feel like I am making this out to be way more dramatic than it actually was. I want to say again that I had a great time in college, and am extremely lucky to be where I am today. And you know, I do realize that it may sound condescending at times when I talk about things like this. Like, I bet some of you guys are thinking right now, is he really making a video like this just because he got 2 B's in his first semester? And the answer is no. I'm not trying to sound condescending in any way. Whether I got a B, C, or even fail the class, the message still rings true. So I hope this clears things up a little bit. The video is in no way of me trying to like flex on my academic skills in any way. And if it comes off that way for you, I just want to say I'm sorry. But after I got those grades back, I actually reassured myself that next semester will be a lot better. You know, this semester was just a fluke, and I just wasn't trying hard enough. So going into next semester, I buckled myself up. I tried forcing myself to study for hours on end. I read the material, took more notes, and honestly, it was working. I was getting high A's on all my assignments, and I felt pretty confident that I could just put away my first semester and really start anew, take it one step at a time, just as I had always been doing. Then came midterms. I felt pretty confident in them, felt as prepared as possible, but for some reason, things just never came out how I wanted. Taking tests and exams, things that I was good at back in high school, it just didn't translate to college. I came out of it making the same easy mistakes that I had been making for the past semester. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, and those mistakes were probably not as easy as I made it out to be during the time. And usually in college, midterms and finals are worth like 70% of your grade. So at that point, I kind of gave up. I didn't pay as much attention in class. I had assignments for the sake of just getting it done. I soon realized that there was no learning taking place. I had spent my first semester and now half of my second, and I realized that not only have I not truly learned anything academically, but I was also hindering myself from really growing as a person. And so I took a step back, and asked myself, why was this happening? The answer that I agreed upon was that I was holding on to my past self. The achievements that I had made in the past were a bar that I had set for myself, a bar raised higher than I could reach. College is a time for exploration, for discovery. It's a time to learn not only about the things that you're interested in academically, but a time to learn about yourself. So I took that message to heart and actually tried to spend time doing things that I really do enjoy doing. Academically, I spent less time trying to find the most efficient way to get an A on the next test or the next assignment, and more time just sitting down, truly learning the material. Trying to find that passion to simply learn that was once in me and I had lost somewhere along the line. Whatever grade I got in class was not the judge of how I did academically. It was how much I actually learned, how much I took away from that class that ultimately decided whether or not I succeeded. Now, to wrap this all up, I'm not saying to not take your class seriously, to be okay with the C and just aim to pass. Instead, focus on things that truly matter at the end of the day. Your friends, your relationships, your family, your learning. And I think that rings true for even those pre-meds and those graduate school potentials out there. Yes, I know that getting a 4.0 is more essential for you to succeed, but when things happen and you don't end up doing as well as you thought you would, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. That perspective change has lifted so much pressure away from me. And I feel like I can finally truly enjoy what college, what Rice, what they all can offer for me. And if you guys are in this scenario or have experienced pressure from academics, just from grades, hopefully something I said in this video could help you. And of course, thank you guys so much for watching.